I was very, very close to this guy, and he just decided to kind of walk out of my life.
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with Logan Franklin, who was the biggest shocker in classic physique division at this past Arnold. So this video of him, moments before hitting the stage, this past weekend, that has to be one of the most impressive, if not the most impressive video of this past weekend. And I have got to say this is classic in its purest form, and you have got to admire the never giving up mindset of Logan Franklin, because he was being counted out for this show, as he was outside of the top 10 at the Olympia last year, and the man saw so many hurdles in his journey in classic physique. And how crazy is the fact that two guys who started their pro careers in the men's physique division, Logan Franklin and Mark Grago, they placed second and third respectively in this very competitive Arnold lineup. Now placing second at the Arnold, that is all the motivation that Logan needed for this year's Miss Olympia. And again, classic physique is just so damn unpredictable that no one can predict where Logan is gonna land this year at the Olympia, because we have to keep in mind both these top guys, Ramon Dino and Orsk Lashinsky, they did not compete at the Arnold this year, and their focus this time, that is on just one show, the Olympia later this year. But the good thing for Logan is that he surely won't be overlooked this time, as he has now established himself as one of the most classic looking guy in this division. So this video is truly a masterpiece in terms of what a body can achieve in terms of the condition. So Logan has set very high standards, and if I'm not mistaken, placing second at the Arnold, that doesn't earn you your Olympia qualification. So we are gonna see him on the stage at least one more time before the Olympia this year to earn his Olympia spot. And I'm gonna say, why not go for the show, which is the highest paying show, the Way Pro, where the winner is gonna get 70 grand. So Hostile just dropped some Sherpa lined zip-up hoodies and Force hooded jackets. So do check them out and use the code FAZI10 to get 10% extra discount. So judging by Nick Walker's hair, it kind of seems like he woke up and said, let's just pose right away. So that, I have got to say, is a superb looking side chest for 10 weeks out. And just as Derek won this year's Arnold, we are kind of curious. What does Nick Walker think of his side poses versus this upgrade version of Derek Lunsford? Because both of the side shots of Derek at this year's Arnold, they were beyond bonkers. They were lights out. And the reason I'm saying that is because Nick Walker was extremely confident that he's gonna be Derek Lunsford in both the side shots. In that Mutant and the Mouth podcast, where Chris Aceto and Derek appeared with Guy and Nick Walker. But the thing is, that was based on Derek's Olympia look. So it is gonna be very interesting how Nick compares to Derek in the side shots. Now that being said, if that is a Nick Walker still in the 290s at 10 weeks out, then that is a very scary looking update, as the man is able to stack that stomach in pretty damn well, and he still has 10 more weeks to go to fine tune things and not only show up in a top notch conditioning, the kind of conditioning that Nick Walker is known for, but also bring his biggest package ever. Now at this point we do not know whether Nick is gonna be able to attain that Arnold 2021 look again, because in my opinion, that was the best look of his career. But this surely will be his biggest, as well as the freakiest look to date. Because the thing is, the man is just tired of people pointing out that he did not look like Martin Fitzwater at his last show, which was the New York Pro, and sitting out of the Olympia last year. That just tarnished his reputation big time. So this show is gonna be like a do or die situation for Nick Walker. It's now or never. And that is why he's going back to his strong point, bring back that freak factor. Because there is just no way he can look more aesthetic or as aesthetic as a guy like Martin or all the other top 5 guys. Now he could have done this year's Arnold, but he skipped that to make sure that he shocks the world with his comeback in May this year. So what did you guys think of his chances against a guy like Martin Fitzwater? So this is one of those very rare instances when you are watching the freak, Michael Krizo, hit a classic pose, and he himself finds it kinda funny. So this marks the 10 weeks out. The 10 weeks out physique update of Michael Krizo as he gets ready to make his comeback at this year's Pittsburgh Pro and also at the New York Pro. So two big coaching changes that we have seen this year Derek and Brendan. They both have delivered amazing performances and amazing results. And we just saw that this past weekend at the Arnold. And Michael Krizo is another big star in the men's open class, who is working with a new coach this time around. And I have got to say a very famous coach, George Farah. So hopefully this is also gonna yield some very good results. Now some of you guys must remember this guy, the guy Krizo is posing for in this video. So that is a retired IFB pro, Lucas Osladel, who was known for being one of the most ripped and the most rare guy, as well as the most flexible guy on the Olympia stage just a few years back. So it is so awesome to see Michael Krizo putting a lot of effort in posing and presentation, as this has been very critical, especially in the case of Michael Krizo, where people have pointed this out so many times, that he needs to present himself in a much better way. So if we go by the paper, Krizo was top 7 2 years back at the Olympia, but the equation has totally changed, and the competition has evolved so much in the past couple of years. Now Krizo is a top 10 Olympian, nonetheless, no matter what the competition, and no matter who shows up. But if he can bring a wire back, he can be top 7 or top 8 once again. But first let's see how he stacks up against the likes of Nick Walker and Martin at this year's Pittsburgh Pro.
Obviously, the Olympia sucked. I was the reigning champion, and I took third. And that was a big blow to my ego, and that makes you start to doubt yourself and question a lot of things. Immediately after that, I caught wind that the coach that I had been working with at the time was going to retire.
So it is no secret that Derek Lunsford, the Arnold 2025 champion, he wasn't very happy with the way he looked at the Olympia last year. And at this past weekend, at the Arnold Sports Festival, he pointed out multiple times that there were some calls made by his former coach Hany that just weren't right, and those contributed to Derek Lunsford looking unbalanced and very disproportionate on the Olympia stage last year. And after looking at this new physique of Derek from this past Arnold, you have got to agree with the head judge Steve Weinberger's observation that even he had no idea what would have been the results of the Olympia last year if Derek had better or even the same legs as he had back at the Olympia 2023 when he won the Olympia for the very first time.
So that meant I was going to lose the coach that I worked with for 4 years. And I was also sponsored by the supplement company that he owns, which we were not really discussing moving forward.
So the way Derek sounded like in the Champions Seminar, it seems like things did not end on a good note with his former coach, Hany Rambod, because Derek isn't even addressing him by his name, and he was addressing him as his former coach, and that kind of shows that things just did not end so well. And that pretty much explains the sponsor change of Derek Lunsford, as he went with Jocko Nutrition. And what a time to make that announcement. What a great time for that company to sign Derek up, because Derek first makes that big announcement just before the Arnold, and then he went on to win the Arnold. That was crazy. And maybe Derek will go in depth on what really went wrong, or maybe that is just a past chapter of his life and he's looking forward to a new one. But my personal assessment is that if Derek needed Hany Rambod the most, that was after losing the Olympia title. But Hany Rambod also chose to retire, which is also the right decision because Hany wanted to spend more time with his family. And now that Derek has had more time to reflect on things with a broader perspective, he truly wasn't happy with the way he looked a few weeks out of his Olympia prep.
I don't want to get too personal here, but he was like a brother of mine, basically, like a really close friend who decided to take a different path in life. And you know, I was very, very close to this guy, and he just decided to kind of walk out of my life, which really sucked and blindsided me. That was one person that I thought I could count on for the rest of my life, and wasn't the case.
Next up is the physique update of Rubiel Mosquera. So this is from his recent YouTube video, where he's training with a top 212 Olympian, Angel Calderon. Now we as fans do not care whether Rubiel does this upcoming New York Pro or not. All we wanna see is him get in shape and compete more than once, because last year he was a massive disappointment. Not because he did not show up at his best at Dubai Pro, but because he pulled out of 5 shows that he was supposed to compete in, especially the ones after the breakthrough. Now I do like the caption put up by Rubiel, gives you an indication that he's fired up for this upcoming season. And honestly, he does look impressive here. So the focal point of Rubiel's training, that should be around his delts. I mean, the man has got a world-class chest, and he has those super bombs, but his delts, they do not match up that well with the rest of his body. Now Rubiel has got the potential. So Prague Pro 2023, his pro debut, where he shocked the entire bodybuilding world with his tremendous size, that is a proof that the man has got some potential in the men's open. And the scary thing is that the guy hasn't even turned 30 yet. Now for Rubiel, it's more of a mental thing to lock it down and just focus on bodybuilding. And I believe he can get to Miss Olympia stage, and that too this year. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.